Hi everyone, Anya here, and today I decided to randomly talk about something what is just currently going on in my life. So the thing is that not only is it Mercury Retrograde, I can't pronounce it. I'm a big deal, but I can't pronounce that. Not only we have our dear Mercury Retrograde, but there is also Mercury Cazimi tomorrow, or at least I think it's gonna be tomorrow. From what I saw, it's gonna be Friday 31st, so yeah, it's tomorrow. And the thing is, these past days I've been feeling like super crazy. Like, I went to my dentist appointment on Monday, and Tuesday, Wednesday are just crazy. Thursday, let's see how it goes. Oh, okay, today is Wednesday, so it's gonna be on Friday and not tomorrow. But wait, I thought it was gonna be on Friday, but Friday is not 31st. Brain is not braining. Anyway, so my dentist appointment actually kind of opened some of my past trauma, and that was because I used to have like really bad experiences with dentists since I was little. Like back then, who didn't have their own dentist yet would have to go to the same dentist as like the rest of the class, and we would always go together as a class, and whoever got dentist somewhere else, they would just say like, I have my own dentist somewhere else, and they would just not get checked, and then their parents would have to take them for a checkup. But the rest of us, we would go as like the whole class, and every time we went, it was really crazy because not only my dentist was like, he was using some kind of anesthesia, but it was not really doing much. So whenever he was like pulling out some teeth or something, you could hear, like, imagine you're sitting in a waiting room and you just hear people screaming. And what our dentist used to do was that he would just play radio and sing while he was either repairing your tooth or pulling it out or just doing something. He was singing to cover up that the people there were just like, to cover up that people there were just yelling from pain. And then also what he used to do is that he used to point out if somebody got really bad teeth. And back then, I was one of those people who, no matter how hard and how well I brushed my teeth, I always got some problem, even with like the first temporary teeth. I don't know like what was happening, what was the problem, but it was just like that. And he would always pinpoint that. He would always, like, after my appointment, he would always go outside, say my name, and tell everyone that they should know that I have like bad rotten teeth. And I was like, first of all, this is not something I can do anything with, because not only it was just like the first teeth, but I was really like brushing them super well every time, every day, like twice. Nothing was happening, nothing was changing. It was still so bad. I don't know why, but it was super bad. So not only I couldn't really do anything about that, but also like, why do you have to like publicly announce that to everyone. Sometimes it was not only like my classmates and teacher. Sometimes there were other people who didn't even know me, and they would all hear this news. And I was like, that's really crazy. By the way, this started since I was in first grade, which was in 2000. So just so you can imagine when exactly it was and how the times were back then. Of course, it changed so much. And I believe the dentist would not do that anymore. But back then, this was normal. And I felt always like super embarrassed by the announcement, just by everything, because me and my parents, we were really like trying hard and doing everything we could to prevent this from happening, and still it would happen. So then of course, not only with like the doctor publicly embarrassing me every time, but also with like him singing while pulling teeth so we could not hear how the children were crying, how it hurt, and he barely used any anesthesia, so it was super painful. I kind of started developing like a trauma from dentists. And I remember once I told my grandma that my tooth was hurting for some reason. I don't know, like there was no cavity, nothing. It was just like painful. She took me to the dentist, and there was this, like he didn't give me any injection or anything. It was just like a liquid. You rub around the tooth, and then you pull it out. But of course, it was like one of the back teeth. It was, I think it was the fifth or sixth, just like the one which already has like regular roots, and or like definitely has like bigger root than what the front teeth would have. And then he just like applied the liquid and started pulling it out, and it hurt as hell, of course. So like I was yelling, I was crying. Again, he was playing the radio to shush me basically. And my grandma was holding my hand. I was like squeezing her hand so tight that she said I almost like I'm a big deal, but I have to pause this. Okay, it was an announcement. They were searching for somebody, so they just called the person's name and tell them where to go. Anyway, to come back to my story, my grandma told me that I almost crushed the bones in her. Like if I was strong enough to actually do that like I would crush her bones in her arm, like in her hand, because it was like super painful. And after that, I really like didn't want to go to the dentist anymore. I think I waited for a few more years, and when I was like 15, I think, I changed dentist and I went to another ambulance. It was in the city where I was studying, so I didn't really have to go like take a bus and go somewhere else anymore. And it was actually quite close to my school, and I remember the dentist was not really accepting minors, but she was also a doctor of my dad, and once the family was there, she was just able to squeeze me in somehow. So I changed a dentist, and I remember at first it was amazing. Like there was really amazing dentist who would always check with me if I want anesthesia, even for the smallest cavities, smallest repairs. She would always ask, because not only she knew that I was traumatized by all that, but she also knew that my dad also really didn't like dentists, and he would also always ask for anesthesia no matter what. So once she saw my name, she immediately knew what to do. And that really helped me a lot. And then after some time she left, and there was this, she left and they started like, the dentist started changing. And it was kind of weird because not only was like basically every year, every like 1.5 year, there was a new person, which I had to like get used to. All of them were there to get like to prepare for like their exams or something, but like they finished school and then they needed some other exams to actually be able to perform by themselves or something like that. So the original doctor was just like supervising them, and they were doing all the job by themselves. And some of them were really great. Some of them would do anything they could. When they saw I was scared, they would really like help me. They would try to like calm me down, and they did really good work on my teeth. Some of them were not as great, especially like I think the problem started around like 2014 or something, when I mentioned that 2015 in September I'm gonna be flying to China for 1 year, and I need like to, if anything is needed, I need it to be done before. And they were like, yeah, we're gonna check everything. They checked, and then they told me that well, we think that your wisdom teeth should be removed, but it doesn't look like it's gonna grow now, so we're just gonna do it after you come back from China. And that was one of the mistakes which happened, because of course it started growing when I was there. When I was in China, I didn't really have like any proper medicaments with me. I didn't have anything else, like suffering, because 3 out of 4 my wisdom teeth actually started growing when I was there. And I was like, okay, great, what do I do now? I came back, there was a different doctor. They saw that my wisdom teeth already started growing, and they were like, well, it started growing now, like we can't do anything about that, we have to wait until it grows properly and then we can like remove it or just do something with it. And I was like, are you kidding me? So they let it grow, and of course they said it was just like a pigmentation or something, like a darker spot in front, like in between of my front teeth. And I was asking them like, hey, what is it? Is it okay? Is it gonna be a cavity? Like, what's happening? What's that? For 1.5 years, they were telling me that it's okay, it's just a pigmentation, it's gonna be fine, like nothing is gonna be out of that, it's not gonna be a cavity. 1.5 years later, again, a doctor changed, and she saw it, and she was like, what's happening? Like, why do you have this? And I told her, the doctor before you just told me that it was just like a darker spot, and like nothing is gonna be wrong with that. And she was like, she did a x-ray, and she was like, well, this is a cavity, and quite deep cavity, and she had to while trying to remove it, it was a procedure which took like 2 hours because not only it was in between of the front teeth, so she had to like put something in between so she could actually see something, because my gums were going kind of in the way. So she did that first, but then it was like a small thing, I don't know how did they call it, like a small separator or whatever, and they would put that in between of my teeth to try to just keep the gums out of the way. And for a bit it helped, but then I started bleeding, and then in the middle of like the whole procedure they had to stop multiple times. It took 2 hours because whatever they wanted to do, they always had to like stop the bleeding. So I was bleeding out of my gums. quite badly actually. It hurt as hell, even with the anesthesia. On top of that, the cavity was quite deep, and it actually was like, from, if you imagine the front tooth and like the interdental area, from that part it went like to the half of the tooth, so it was really deep. And I don't know what they had to use, but they couldn't just use the regular stuff to get it out. They had to, I think maybe they had to use some acid or something to just get it out of the tooth, because it was like so deep and like so stupid place that she would not be able to reach to like remove it. So that was really crazy experience, just because it took so long. I was bleeding all the time. It hurt even though I got the anesthesia, plus she was like trying to get it out for like so long. Now it's fine. The only thing which was there was that my hygienist had to use, I don't know what she used, but she did something to make it a bit smaller, because it was going way too much in the interdental area, and the dental floss was getting stuck. So then she just had to like make it smaller a bit, so then it would not get stuck anymore. And this was another experience, like a horrible experience, which didn't really help me with my dentist trauma. And then what happened was that I was already living in Prague and I needed to go to see a dentist. So I said my employer that I'm just gonna like go there. They gave me the doctor pass, and I arrived after like I can't speak. I'm a big deal, but I can't speak. I had to go one day before my appointment, because the way there actually takes like almost 3 hours. So I would not be able to make it if I go in the morning. So I went the day before. I stayed in my parents' house. I went to the doctor, and she was like, "What are you doing here? Like, you don't have the appointment. We texted you that the doctor is not here." And I'm like, "No, you didn't text me. Like, you didn't inform me about anything." And I was like getting angry because I spent 3 hours on the way just to hear this. So then I asked her like, what is the number that they have? And here comes the fun part. For the past, I've been there for like 10 years, and I switched the dentist after, like, I've been there since like 15 until like 25, maybe 26, and then I switched the doctor. But in 10 years, they were not able to write down my number. Every time I went there, every time they asked me to check the number, I told them, "This number is not correct. I have a new number. It's blah, blah, blah." And I just said the new number. And every time I was like, I gave it to them once, then I noticed that they didn't write it down. So next visit, I told them again. And like this for the past 10 years. And then I still arrived and I saw that they were not even able to change my number for like the proper phone number, which is insane. If you imagine, like, I've been going there for 10 years, every year twice. So they saw me 20 times and they were not able to get it right. So with that, I was like, okay, it's enough. Like, I don't have time for that. I don't have energy for that. I just need to like go away. And I found a dentist in Prague. And my dentist in Prague was actually a person I knew. She was attending the same high school as me, and then she went for university and became a dentist. And when I saw that she's actually accepting new patients, I contacted her, and I was able to have her as my doctor. And she was really amazing. and she actually helped me to kind of get rid of all the bad things that happened. And with that, I thought I actually like resolved the trauma, but looks like I only bottled it down. I don't know, because then my dentist changed. The friend left for like some more studies, and I got a new dentist. And again, like, she's young, she's super nice, she's super chill, and I thought that the trauma was already resolved. But as I was there on Monday, I actually told her, she was discussing with me that we need to change one filling in one tooth that is like already not in the best condition, and it might crack and break my teeth. So I should change it as soon as possible. So I was like, okay, let's plan that. And then I told her that because I have two huge fillings, which one of those was fine and the other one was like super painful even with the anesthesia. And I told her, like, look, this and this happened to me in the past. They gave me the huge injection with like the strongest anesthesia they could give me, and I still felt it. I'm not sure if it's this tooth or the other one, because I should like repair both. I don't know which one is it, but just so you know, it could be this one. And she was like, thank you for telling me, so we need to arrange like longer time. And as we planned that, I also told her that my wisdom teeth are really bothering me, because right now I only don't have one of those, because I got it extracted like 5 years ago when it couldn't even grow and it would just pressure my other teeth and it would just be bad, so they took it out. And actually that was the only one that they dealt with properly. But anyway, I told her that my wisdom teeth are bothering me, that I have 3 of 4, and for the bottom ones I have both. So they are really like pressuring my teeth. They're pressuring my teeth from like both sides, causing me to have my front teeth a bit crooked, and also some of my front teeth are like turning to the side, to like under the pressure they just like started rotating. And I was like, okay, that's really weird. So now I asked her to like plan an appointment for me to get it out, and she was like, yeah, sure. She explained which one she'll take out first, because there's like on the left side I have only the bottom one. So she said since there's not the top one anymore, she will take that out first, and then she's gonna move to the right side. And if she can handle it by herself, she's gonna do it. If not, she's gonna send me to some other doctor to like do it. And one part of me is like really looking forward to having the filling repaired and having the wisdom tooth taken out, but the other part of me is like freaking out, because as I started going back to like the whole history of dentists and everything, I actually noticed that if they, like, I was thinking, and like if they didn't do this crazy mistake 10 years ago, that they would just refuse to take my wisdom teeth out, sorry. I just like keep messing those two words up. If they had taken them out before, I would just not have to suffer now, and I would not have to have crooked teeth now. And I was just thinking like that. Then I was thinking, okay, so I'm just gonna get those wisdom teeth out and get braces. Like, why not? There are so many options now, and even the invisible ones, I can have those. It's not gonna be visible, and I can just wear them until my teeth are not crooked anymore. And then I just started to like think even about that I was told that my parents should have given me braces when I was little. They didn't, because we didn't have that much money and it was just too expensive back then. And now my teeth are just like not in the best position. So I was supposed to like wear braces to get it fixed, but at the same time, if I wore braces back then my wisdom teeth would grow because they didn't take them out, and then my teeth would get back to like the previous condition. So I would lose money for nothing. And then I just started like slowly spiraling. I even cried about that because I was just so crazy. And even with the Mercury Cazimi and yeah, the ambulance was just passing by. Even with the Mercury Cazimi happening on 31st, for these past 2 days, I've been having just like a horrible brain fog, not being able to think clearly, and still I was like spiraling and wondering why I should be the one to pay such a huge amount of money for braces for like a mistake that the doctor did. And with this, I was slowly getting into the victim mode again, which is something I don't like. Like, I don't want to be there. This is something that can be solved. And yeah, even though it was not ideal and my doctors in the past were not the best, but I believe they were trying their best. So I should not really like be angry at them. And like, I'm the driver of the car called my life, and I'm the one who can actually go and fix it. So I should not keep getting stuck in all the spirals. And after realizing that, which by the way, I realized that thanks to my previous mentor Tony, she uploaded a video explaining like what's the Mercury Cazimi, what does it do, how would it affect people in that it's in Leo, and I'm Leo rising, by the way, so that's one of the reasons why it affects me so much. Plus, together with the retrograde, it's even worse. And once I watched her video, well, listened to her video because I couldn't watch at work, so I just put it on the background and I was just listening what she was saying, and then I was working. But I managed to realize that this was just another thing which needs to be solved, which was bottled down for like so long, and now I need to just go and solve it, and I have the power to do it. And that actually took me out of the victim mode. So I'm just, right now I feel better, my head is more clear. I guess I just needed to like hear it again, because especially like with the brain fog and everything, it's so difficult to think clear sometimes. And there's so much wind, so I hope you hear me. But yeah, so it was really difficult, and I kind of, thanks to Tony, I kind of managed to get out of the worst situation. Of course, still part of me is there, like, which feels bad about that and feels betrayed, and not only like feeling bad and feeling betrayed, but also part of me is there that like I was a child, I was not even able to decide for myself, I was not even able to like do anything, and like I think I will still have to go through some shadow work to be able to process that properly, because it's just insane, and it's been bottling up since I was 6, so and I'm 31 right now, and I've got a normal doctor for like 5 years. So It's gonna take some time, but thanks to Tony, I at least managed to get out of the loop, get out of the victim mode where I was going back to, and just believe that everything is gonna be fine, and just get back to the thoughts and the realization that I have the power over my own life and I can do whatever. I have so many options, and one decision can change everything. So in the past years, once I got to this mindset, it was like pretty easy to keep it, even in the darker days and nights. But this Cazimi really, like, I would say it shifted me a few years back to the moments where I barely started to get to know shadow work, because it's just, this shaman was just so huge that once it resurfaced, I felt like I shifted back 10 years, not even 5 years, just 10 years back to the old version of me who was just stuck in a victim mode forever. And thanks to Tony, I realized that I'm not like that. I'm actually the driver of the car of my life, and one decision can change everything. And again, today I was listening to Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters, and the lyrics is just so on point, and I felt like I needed to listen to it now more than ever. And it's just so amazing. If you haven't watched the movie, you have to. Really, I recommend it. If you haven't listened to the songs, you should. They are just really, like, extremely amazing. And yeah, I'm thinking now how the lyrics go. Given the throne, I didn't know I was the queen that I'm meant to be, or something like that. And really, with every once in a while, I feel like Spotify even knows me and it plays me the song whenever I need to hear it. So yeah, and my tram arrived, and I feel like I said everything. So bye.